We walk on it every single day. But how often do we really stop and think about the ground beneath our feet? It's not just dirt. It's this incredible, living, breathing ecosystem that literally feeds us all. But here's the thing. That system is getting tired. So let's dive in and explore the secret to bringing our soil back to life: the power of organic manure.
For generations, we've been asking more and more from our land. We've pushed it to its limits, but that constant demand, well, it's come at a price. Our soil is really starting to show the strain, the signs of exhaustion. So what's really going on down there? And that's the multi-billion-dollar question, isn't it? It's something farmers and scientists all over the globe are grappling with. The very foundation of our food system, the actual power of the soil to produce, is getting weaker. But listen, this isn't just some natural cycle. Nope, it's a direct consequence of how we've been farming. See, in this big race for bigger harvests and higher yields, we turned to what seemed like a magic solution: chemical fertilizers. And they promised incredible results. And you know what? For a little while, they actually delivered. But this approach came with a huge hidden cost, and we're now starting to see the long-term consequences for our soil's health. Okay, so this is the absolute crucial difference. Think of it like this. Chemical fertilizers are like an energy drink for plants. They give them a quick, concentrated jolt of a few key nutrients. But they do nothing for the soil itself. Organic manures, on the other hand, that's like a wholesome, balanced, nourishing meal. It's not about a quick fix. It's about building long-term health and strength from the ground up.
Let's really dig into that idea, because once you shift your perspective from just feeding the plant to feeding the soil, well, that's a complete game changer. And that's exactly where organic manure comes in, offering what is essentially a perfectly balanced diet for the earth.
At its core, organic manure is really simple. It's just the product of decomposition. Think of it as nature's ultimate recycling program. It takes waste from plants and animals and transforms it into this rich material that puts every single essential element a plant could need right back into the soil. It creates this perfect, closed, sustainable loop. And the benefits they're across the board. It's truly a three-course meal for the soil. Physically, it improves the soil's structure and helps it hold on to water so much better. Chemically, it gives a slow, steady release of all the nutrients, not just a select few. And biologically, and this is huge, it's food for that whole community of helpful bacteria and fungi. They're the real engines of a healthy soil ecosystem.
And check this out, because this highlights what a great long-term investment it is. Unlike chemical fertilizers that kind of wash away and you have to reapply them all the time, organic manure builds up a reserve of fertility in the soil. Its benefits stick around, improving the soil year after year, crop after crop.
So organic manure is a pretty broad term, right? Let's break it down a bit and meet some of the specific types, the real-world soil builders that farmers are using every day.
First up, we've got the classic farmyard manure, or FYM. This is what people have been using for centuries. It's a potent, traditional mix of animal waste and bedding like straw, all composted together until it turns into this rich, earthy, amazing soil conditioner.
Next, we've got compost. Now, this is incredibly versatile. It's where these amazing microorganisms break down a huge variety of stuff. Everything from crop leftovers and weeds to your kitchen scraps. They transform it all into this dark, crumbly, nutrient-rich substance called humus, which is really the essence of what makes soil healthy.
And here, you can see what a big composting operation looks like in action. It's the perfect example of taking things we'd otherwise consider waste and systematically turning them into one of the most valuable things a farm can have, that nutrient-rich black gold.
But what if you could supercharge that whole process? Well, you can. That's vermicompost. For this, we bring in nature's own master composters, earthworms. They eat up all the organic waste, and what they excrete are these incredibly nutrient-dense castings. It is one of the richest organic fertilizers you can possibly find.
This diagram here shows you exactly how it works. You just create these layers of organic material, you introduce the earthworms, and they get to work. They just burrow through the whole pile, digesting it and turning it into finished vermicompost. It's a wonderfully efficient biological process.
So, just how much better is it? Well, take a look at the nitrogen. A good farmyard manure might have up to 1% nitrogen. Vermicompost can have as much as 2.5% or even more. See, the earthworms don't just decompose the material, they actually concentrate all the good stuff.
Okay, so we've talked about decomposing matter, but now let's go even smaller. Let's look at a solution that is actually alive, a totally invisible workforce that can fertilize our fields.
Just imagine that for a second. Instead of spreading some synthetic powder out of a bag, what if you could introduce a thriving population of microscopic allies into your soil to work with your plants? Well, that's the whole concept behind biofertilizers. Biofertilizers are basically cultures of these helpful microorganisms that do things plants just can't do on their own. Some of them can pull nitrogen gas right out of the air. And remember, our atmosphere is 78% nitrogen, and turn it into a form plants can use. Others can unlock phosphorus that's already in the soil but is chemically unavailable. And these microbes, they're specialists. For instance, Rhizobium bacteria. They form this super powerful partnership with legumes like peas and beans. Azotobacter works wonders for cereals like wheat and corn. And Azola, which is this tiny little aquatic fern, is a fantastic nitrogen source for rice paddies. It's all about matching the right microbe to the right crop. Now, take a good look at this number, 200 kilograms per hectare. That sounds like a lot, doesn't it? Well, let me tell you what it represents, because it's pretty amazing.
That's the incredible amount of nitrogen that a single crop of pigeon peas can pull from the atmosphere in 1 year, all thanks to its partnership with those Rhizobium bacteria. We're talking 200 kilograms of free natural fertilizer per hectare, created literally out of thin air. It's just a stunning example of nature's power.
Ultimately, what we're talking about here goes way beyond just farming techniques. The health of our soil is directly and just completely linked to the health of our entire planet. It's simple. When we build healthy soil, we are building a healthier world. And that really brings us to the final, crucial question. This choice between a short-term boost and long-term health is one we make every single season. So are we simply trying to get what we can for today's harvest, or are we actually investing in the fertility and the vitality of our soil for all the generations that are going to follow us? The choice is ours.